completing a sophisticated tunnel system. The purpose was clear: to allow for a strategic surprise against Israel in a future conflict. It was impossible for any of us to predict when Hezbollah leader Nasrallah or his patrons in Tehran would decide to send thousands of commandos under our border. We had to make a quick and crucial decision. We knew acting against the tunnels could spark a full-scale confrontation with Hezbollah. And I'm proud I had a privilege to participate in the decision that led to Operation Northern Shield last December. The operation worked exactly as we hoped. Every single tunnel was destroyed. Thank you. The IDF accomplished the mission which would save countless lives in the future. The terrorists were caught completely by surprise. They avoided any escalation. They understood that our superior intelligence and operational capabilities would lead to their inevitable defeat. Our action in the north was only part of what we call the war between wars, המלחמה שבין המלחמות. Over the last several years, we have targeted numerous Iranian bases in Syria. We simply will not allow an Iranian military entrenchment in Syria. They will not deploy tens of thousands of Shiite militiamen on our border, and we will continue to destroy any UAV and advanced missile capabilities that threaten our national security. Wherever needed, the daring soldiers of our most elite units engage in the types of actions generally reserved for a Netflix series. Decades will pass before most will be known. In fact, we've only revealed some of the details of one: the incredible raid on Iran's secret nuclear archives deep in the heart of Tehran. A massive amount of highly valuable information was seized. We shared it with all those countries involved in the global campaign to thwart Iran's designs on weapons of mass destruction. So it is time to state Israel's policy on the Iranian nuclear threat loud and clear. We were horrified when the world's leading powers, led by the United States, unfortunately, fell victim to Iran's deception and negotiated an agreement that can only be defined as the moral surrender of the civilized world. And as shocked as we were by the deal, we were just as thrilled when there was a complete reversal in American policy. So we applaud the Trump administration's decision to withdraw from the JCPOA. It will make Israel and the world much safer. The reimposed sanctions have had a profound impact on Iran's ability to fund and arm its terrorist proxies. Nevertheless, we know Iran's leaders very well. They are persistent, patient, and focused on their goals. They are indifferent to the suffering of their own people. And we know they will not abandon the dream of destroying Israel. However, Iran does not simply threaten Israel. It poses a danger to every country in our region. As we have seen in the last few weeks in the Persian Gulf, Iran endangers the peace of the entire world. That is why the entire world, led by the United States, must mobilize to end its nuclear ambitions. But even if the whole world stands idly by, Israel will always be ready, willing, and able to defend itself against any threat. Israel, thank you. Israel remains committed to a goal that has been consistent through successive governments. We will prevent any hostile regime in the region from obtaining non-conventional weapons. We acted on this policy twice in the past, and nobody should doubt our resolve to act again, if necessary. We have successfully defended ourselves since our return to our homeland, and we will probably have to continue for many more decades. My parents fought for the establishment of the state in the ranks of the underground, dedicated to liberate the land of Israel from British rule. Both were arrested and sentenced to long prison terms. Both managed heroic escapes and immediately rejoined the fight. I fought as a paratrooper during the First Lebanon War. My son fought as a paratrooper during Operation Protective Edge in Gaza in 2014. My family story is typical of many, many Israeli families. In fact, this is the story of the 71-year-old state of Israel, a nation that aspires with all its heart to peace, but does not dare let go of the sword for even a moment. For without it, not only will peace not exist, neither will Israel. The past few years have been the most successful in Israel's history. You know that. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Netanyahu, Israel's political standing has continued to grow in Africa, in Europe, in Asia, and in South America. Above all, Israel enjoys an unprecedented strategic partnership with the United States of America. President Trump has been an amazing friend to the state of Israel. Better than we could have ever imagined. And I have been, as was mentioned before, a member of the Knesset and minister since 1988. So I have a pretty good perspective on this issue. With all the wars we have endured and the horrific attacks we have suffered, Israel can boast that for 71 years we have maintained an uninterrupted democracy and can be humbly thankful that our democracy has maintained us, a country that absorbs millions of immigrants from countries that never knew a single day of democracy, has managed, against all odds, to build a system of laws and individual rights based on liberal values. I'm not saying a democracy is perfect, far from it. Otherwise, we would not be forced to hold national elections twice in 5 months. But on balance, the state of Israel, with all its difficulties, is not only a modern miracle, it is indisputably the single greatest miracle of our time. We, the 9 million citizens of Israel, with all the differences between us, Jews and non-Jews, Sabras and Olim, religious and secular, of all denominations and backgrounds and languages and identities, we are united in our desire to reinforce and intensify this miracle. We will continue on our path to strengthen the one and only Jewish state. We will do so based on the values of justice and freedom. We will do so hand in hand with Jewish communities in every corner of the globe. And we will do so in outright and unapologetic defiance of all those who seek to harm us or delegitimize our place in the world. Thank you all.